Millions are moving. But what if this global, running to and fro, is more than just travel? What if it's a prophecy unfolding right before our eyes? From the very first pages, the Bible tells stories of movement, of a people called to wander. Was it just happenstance, or the beginning of a larger pattern? God's narrative begins with journeys, with a divine call to displacement. Abraham, the father of faith, was commanded to leave his homeland, Ur of the Chaldeans, and go to a land he did not know. His life, and that of his descendants, was a perpetual pilgrimage, guided by divine promise. This wasn't aimless wandering. It was a foundational migration, embedding the very impulse of movement into the spiritual DNA of humanity. Beyond survival, humanity began to connect. Goods, ideas, and even faith traveled vast distances, weaving a complex web across the ancient world. But this was only the beginning. As early civilizations rose, so too did the networks that bound them. Ancient trade routes, like the fabled Silk Road or the spice routes of the Middle East, became arteries of exchange. Merchants, caravans, and ships navigated vast distances, driven by necessity and the allure of exotic goods. They carried not just commodities, but cultures, languages, and philosophies, blurring the lines between isolated communities and laying the groundwork for a globally interconnected world. From ancient times, humans have journeyed not just for trade, but for the sacred, to connect with the divine, to seek truth. This quest for meaning fueled some of the greatest movements in history. Across diverse cultures, the pilgrimage emerged as a profound expression of faith. From the ancient Egyptians traveling to sacred sites along the Nile, to the Israelites ascending to Jerusalem for the great feasts, to the early Muslims undertaking the Hajj to Mecca, the physical act of travel became intertwined with spiritual longing. These were not mere trips. They were transformative quests, undertaken to seek divine connection, atonement, or enlightenment, shaping both individual souls and entire civilizations. The world was vast, unknown, but humanity refused to stay put. Driven by curiosity, courage, and sometimes conquest, explorers pushed the boundaries, unknowingly setting the stage for something far greater. The tales of legendary navigators like the Vikings, crossing icy seas to uncharted lands, or the Polynesian voyagers, mastering the Pacific, speak to an innate human desire to discover what lies beyond the horizon. Later, figures of the Age of Exploration, Columbus, Magellan, da Gama, shattered geographical barriers, connecting continents and shrinking the perceived size of the world. Their relentless drive for discovery, for knowledge of the unknown, was more than ambition. It was a prelude to an era of movement unlike any other. The world was no longer just a collection of isolated regions. New technologies and bold ventures began to weave a truly global tapestry, but the pace was still slow. Until the 15th century ignited an era of monumental change. With the compass, the astrolabe, and the caravels, humanity pushed past known horizons. Maps, once vague and fear-filled, stretched to encompass new continents. Vast oceans became highways for ambitious explorers and merchants. Suddenly, continents that had existed in isolation were brought into contact. Goods flowed across the globe, and the seeds of a truly interconnected world were sown. This was the dawn of global trade routes, a slow but steady expansion that reshaped the world, making it feel just a little smaller. The roar of steam engines, the churning of propellers. Suddenly, distance was no longer a barrier. The world began to shrink and the seeds of modern tourism were sown. The Industrial Revolution, a whirlwind of innovation, fundamentally transformed the speed and scale of human movement. No longer confined to the pace of wind or beast, steam power unleashed an unprecedented era of rapid transit. Trains crisscrossed continents, ships defied ocean currents, and travel became not just faster, but more reliable. This was the birth of mass transportation, making journeys that once took months, now possible in weeks, opening up the world to an entirely new class of travelers. What began as a necessity, then a privilege, was slowly transforming. The Grand Tour became a rite of passage, hinting at a future where travel would be a universal pursuit. As the 19th century unfolded, an emerging affluent class embraced travel not just for trade, but for education, culture, and sheer pleasure. The Grand Tour, a rite of passage for young European aristocrats, set the precedent. Grand hotels emerged, guidebooks appeared, and the very concept of tourism took root. It was an exclusive phenomenon, yes, but it signaled a profound shift. The human desire to experience the world, for its own sake, was becoming a powerful cultural force. Then came the jet age, affordable flights, and a new era of global exploration. What was once a luxury became a norm, and the world truly opened up. But was this just progress, or something else entirely? The post-World War II boom ushered in an explosion of prosperity and leisure time. With commercial jet travel, the globe truly opened up. Distant lands became accessible, exotic destinations no longer just dreams. Millions of middle-class families embarked on road trips and international vacations, transforming travel from an elite pursuit into a widespread, almost universal aspiration. The world, once vast, was now shrinking at an astonishing rate. Today, the world is at our fingertips. Billions are on the move, constantly. But could this unprecedented global movement, this relentless running to and fro, be a direct fulfillment of an ancient, forgotten prophecy? The digital revolution completed the transformation. Smartphones, the internet, and instant connectivity have rendered travel planning effortless and global communication seamless. Social media fuels a continuous aspiration for new destinations, turning every landmark into a potential photo opportunity. We live in an age where borders blur, cultures intertwine, and humanity moves with a velocity and volume never before witnessed. This is a hyper-connected world, a global tapestry of motion and information. In the heart of a fallen empire, amidst Babylon's golden splendor and pagan excess, lived a young Hebrew captive named Daniel. Torn from his homeland, stripped of his freedom, he nevertheless remained unyielding in his unwavering faithfulness. Surrounded by the corrupt magnificence of the royal palace, Daniel kept himself untainted. And because of his devotion, God chose him not merely to interpret the dreams of kings, but to glimpse the very culmination of human history. In this crucible of captivity, God prepared a prophet to see beyond his own time into ours, revealing secrets of the distant future. These were not mere dreams, but divine revelations that shook Daniel to his core. The visions were often so profound, so overwhelming, that they left him physically weak, even anguished. He saw the rise and fall of empires, the unfolding of millennia, a burden of understanding that few could bear. He wrestled with the gravity of future events, knowing that these were not just historical predictions, but sacred truths about God's ultimate plan. One vision, however, spoke directly to the very fabric of our modern world, foretelling a condition of humanity that would emerge in the last days. Then, a celestial messenger appeared, tasked with revealing the grand conclusion of human history. This angelic figure brought forth insights into a period known as the time of the end, a time marked by unparalleled upheaval and divine intervention. Daniel stood humbled, reverent, receiving words of cosmic significance that would shape the destiny of nations and the understanding of generations yet unborn. And within that revelation, preserved for centuries within ancient scrolls, lies a verse that perfectly describes our current age, a precise glimpse into the conditions of our contemporary world. But amidst these prophecies of empires and kings, a single verse stands out with chilling precision for our modern age. Daniel chapter 12 verse 4 declares, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words, and seal the book, even to the time of the end. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased." Many shall run to and fro. In Daniel's agrarian world, where travel was arduous and rare, this phrase would have seemed almost nonsensical. Yet today, it speaks of a global phenomenon, a relentless human movement, a constant migration that defines our era. Could this ancient phrase be describing the very tourism industry we know today? But there's a second part to that prophecy, equally astonishing in its fulfillment. And knowledge shall be increased. Think about the information age, the internet, artificial intelligence, the instantaneous access to almost all human knowledge. The sheer volume of information available at our fingertips would have been unimaginable to Daniel. This explosion of knowledge, coupled with the unparalleled ease of travel and communication, creates a tapestry of global interconnectedness. Is it mere coincidence that these two phenomena, constant movement and boundless information, are defining characteristics of our time, or a divinely orchestrated sign? For centuries, these words were sealed, their full meaning hidden, cryptic to those who lived in slower, less connected times. The angel specifically instructed Daniel to shut up the words and seal the book, with the explicit promise that understanding would only come at the time of the end. This implies a designated period when the conditions described would become so evident, so undeniable, that the prophecy's true significance would finally be revealed. Is that time now? Are we living in the age Daniel foresaw? An era where constant global movement and an explosion of knowledge converge, unlocking the ancient text before our very eyes? What exactly did Daniel mean by running to and fro? For centuries, scholars debated, but in our lifetime, the interpretation has become startlingly clear. For generations, interpreters wrestled with Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. Some saw running to and fro as intellectual pursuit, a frantic search for understanding within the sacred texts. Others considered it a spiritual journey, a seeking of truth. But the predominant and most compelling view aligns with a tangible, physical movement across the globe. It speaks not merely of intellectual curiosity, but of an unprecedented acceleration of human mobility. As the veil of centuries lifted, the literal meaning of Daniel's words began to resonate with terrifying precision, pointing directly to the world we inhabit today. While humans have always moved, the sheer scale and speed of modern travel is unprecedented. No other era could truly embody Daniel's words until now. Even in the height of the Roman Empire, with its vast network of roads, travel was arduous and slow, reserved for the few. The medieval trade fairs saw people gather from distant lands, but these movements were sporadic, localized, and largely driven by necessity. Even the age of exploration, while expanding geographical knowledge, involved journeys that spanned months or years, accessible only to the intrepid few. Never before has humanity experienced movement on such a universal, relentless scale. 1,000 years ago, a journey across a continent took months. Today, it takes hours. This isn't just travel. It's a torrent, running to and fro that defies all historical precedent. Consider the numbers. Millions of flights crisscrossing the skies daily, billions of train and bus passengers moving across continents each year. What once took months by horseback now takes mere hours by air. The velocity and volume of human movement have exploded exponentially, transforming our world into a perpetual motion machine. This isn't just an increase, it's a deluge of movement, fulfilling Daniel's vision with staggering accuracy. From the highest mountains to the deepest oceans, humanity reaches every corner. No longer are there undiscovered lands. All are within reach, fulfilling Daniel's vision of a truly global movement. Remote islands, once isolated, now host bustling resorts. Ancient civilizations, once distant, are now just a plane ride away. This unprecedented global reach means that cultures intermingle, ideas spread instantly, and the very fabric of human experience is interwoven across every latitude and longitude. The world has become a tapestry of interconnected paths, validating the prophetic image of a people in constant motion. And the twin prophecy, knowledge shall be increased, has exploded with the internet. We are drowning in information, a fulfillment so precise it's almost terrifying. But what does it all mean for us? For millennia, knowledge was a privilege, passed down through rare scrolls or guarded institutions. Today, the sum of human knowledge is accessible to anyone with a smartphone, instantly. The Internet, artificial intelligence, and global digital networks have created an information explosion that Daniel could scarcely have imagined. This isn't just an increase, it's a tsunami of data, fulfilling the second part of the prophecy with undeniable force. This isn't just about travel or information, it's about a specific time, the time of the end, when these two forces converge. Are we merely passive observers or active participants in this prophetic unfolding? The answer lies in why we move. The simultaneous, exponential increase in both physical movement and accessible knowledge is no mere coincidence. It is the precise, chilling convergence Daniel foretold, marking our era as the time of the end. These two phenomena are symbiotic, fueling each other, transforming our world at an accelerating pace. This raises a profound question. What is the true purpose behind this frantic, global running to and fro? Why do we travel? For many, it's a simple desire for a break, a change of scenery, a temporary reprieve from the relentless currents of daily life. The modern tourist archetype is easily recognizable. Individuals or families seeking sun-drenched beaches, the thrill of a new city's skyline, or the quiet contemplation of ancient ruins. This global phenomenon, this constant motion across continents, is driven by a profound, almost universal human need. We seek escape from the office, from routine, from the pressures that accumulate in our structured lives. The allure is undeniable, the promise of relaxation, adventure, or cultural immersion, a temporary balm for the soul. But is there something deeper driving this global phenomenon of constantly running to and fro? The world is an endless scroll of new experiences, each one calling us away from the mundane. Humanity's insatiable appetite for novelty fuels this ceaseless movement. We crave the unique, the exotic, the photographable moment that sets our experience apart. From scaling remote mountain peaks to witnessing vibrant, fleeting cultural festivals, or daring extreme sports in breathtaking locales, the pursuit of the next big thing in travel propels millions. This thrill of discovery, the excitement of stepping into an unfamiliar environment, becomes a powerful, almost addictive force. It promises not just a change of place, but a change within ourselves. But is this pursuit of novelty a path to fulfillment, or a distraction from deeper truths? We travel, we post, we seek likes. In the digital age, the journey itself often becomes secondary to its documentation. The pressure to share perfectly curated images and stories across social media platforms reshapes our very motivations for running to and fro. Has our relentless movement become less about genuine internal discovery and more about external validation? The shift is subtle but profound, from truly experiencing a place to meticulously curating an image of that experience for public consumption. This digital imperative can transform authentic exploration into a performance, a quest for affirmation rather than enlightenment. Is it a true escape or just a new form of digital captivity? We chase the sun, the adventure, the freedom. Travel, at its core, holds the potent promise of escapism, a temporary reprieve from stress, responsibility, and even the unsettling existential questions that shadow our daily lives. The joy of a vacation is real, a much-needed breath of fresh air. Yet, for many, the cycle is predictable. The temporary high of travel gives way to the inevitable return to reality, a reality that often feels more burdensome after the taste of freedom. The underlying issues remain unaddressed, creating a longing for the next escape. But when the vacation ends, do we return refreshed or just ready for the next escape? Is global tourism merely a band-aid for a deeper spiritual wound? We seek freedom in distant lands, but often find ourselves trapped in the very mechanisms of mass tourism. This endless running to and fro can paradoxically lead to a lack of genuine freedom. From the standardized hotel chains to the commercialized authentic experiences, the illusion of unique discovery often dissolves into a homogenized consumer experience. We stand in lines, jostle in crowds at what were once natural wonders, and purchase souvenirs that feel mass-produced. The line between a true traveler and a mere tourist blurs, as the very act of seeking external satisfaction can lead to superficial encounters. Is this endless running to and fro truly liberating, or are we just running in circles, missing something profound? Global tourism, a phenomenon of unprecedented scale, has ignited an economic boom across continents. From bustling markets in Marrakesh to the luxury resorts of the Maldives, entire nations have built their prosperity on the influx of visitors. This vast industry creates millions of jobs, stimulates infrastructure development, and pours vital currency into economies, transforming once isolated communities into vibrant hubs of commerce. Yet, this prosperity often comes tethered to a fragile dependency. When global crises strike, a pandemic, a natural disaster, a geopolitical tremor, the engines of tourism halt, revealing the vulnerability beneath the veneer of affluence. Empty resorts, deserted beaches, and shuttered businesses become stark reminders of how quickly fortune can turn. Global tourism fuels economies, creating millions of jobs, but it also creates fragile dependencies. Is this constant, running to and fro, building sustainable prosperity, or setting the stage for deeper economic challenges? But the economic ledger is not the only one tallying the costs of our incessant movement. The sheer volume of global travel casts an enormous shadow on our planet. Every flight, every cruise, every long-distance journey spews carbon emissions into the atmosphere, accelerating climate change. Pristine beaches become choked with plastic waste, and delicate ecosystems, from melting glaciers to coral reefs, buckle under the strain of human presence. National parks, once sanctuaries of untouched wilderness, now groan under the weight of countless footsteps, their quietude replaced by crowds. Our desire to see the world, paradoxically, is slowly destroying it. Is this, running to and fro, a fulfillment of prophecy or a warning? A stark caution etched into the very landscapes we claim to cherish? Beyond the economic and environmental, a quieter, yet profound, transformation unfolds in the heart of cultures themselves. The relentless running to and fro of millions can inadvertently erode the very essence of authenticity that draws us to distant lands. Local traditions, once living expressions of identity, are often commodified, packaged, and performed for the tourist gaze, becoming curated spectacles rather than genuine ways of life. Languages fade, ancient crafts are replaced by mass-produced souvenirs, and the unique rhythms of a community surrender to the demands of the global visitor. From vibrant traditions to curated spectacles, our hunger for authenticity often inadvertently erodes it. Is this constant movement truly enriching cultures, or is it flattening them into a global sameness, blurring the vibrant tapestry of human diversity? This insatiable appetite for travel has given rise to a new peril: over-tourism. In cities like Venice, Barcelona, or Kyoto, the very beauty that draws us there is now being choked by our numbers. Local residents, priced out of their homes and overwhelmed by crowds, often find their quality of life diminishing, their public spaces becoming mere thoroughfares for sightseers. The infrastructure strains, resources deplete, and the initial welcome turns to resentment. Protests erupt, calling for limits, for a return to balance. Over-tourism, a crisis born of our relentless running to and fro, begs the question: what is the true cost of our wanderlust, not just to the planet, but to the people who call these beloved places home? Can prophecy truly unfold amidst such struggle? The relentless motion of humanity has irrevocably transformed our world. From ancient migrations driven by survival to the hyper-connected global tourism of today, every journey has left its mark. Economies soar and crash, ecosystems bend and break, cultures adapt or erode. This, running to and fro, has reshaped coastlines, rebuilt cities, and redefined human interaction. The changes are profound, often irreversible. But is there a higher purpose, a spiritual dimension to this global movement that we are missing? Or is it merely a symptom of a deeper longing, an unspoken restlessness that even the most exotic destinations cannot fully satisfy? The answer to that question may lie in a different kind of journey. Amidst the endless pursuit of fleeting pleasures, some still hear a deeper call. They don't just run to and fro, they embark on journeys of the soul, seeking not just sights but salvation. For all the commercialism and superficiality of modern tourism, a profound, ancient impulse persists: the pilgrimage. Today, countless individuals still set out on paths like Spain's Camino de Santiago, not for a lavish vacation, but for introspection, penance, and spiritual communion. Others journey to the Holy Land, walking where Christ walked, seeking a tangible connection to their faith's roots. This is travel not as escape, but as engagement, not as distraction, but as deliberate spiritual discipline. It is a powerful reminder that the human spirit, at its core, yearns for more than just temporary relief. For some, running to and fro is a path to renewal, a way to disconnect from the noise and reconnect with the divine. These journeys aren't about escape, but about a deeper encounter. Consider the silent retreat centers nestled in serene landscapes, or the ancient places of worship scattered across the globe still drawing seekers. Here, the transformative power of a new environment fosters introspection. Souls burdened by the world's clamor find solace in solitude, clarity in contemplation. They attest to a profound shift, a spiritual recalibration that only comes from stepping away from the familiar and deliberately seeking God's presence. These are not mere vacations. They are profound spiritual expeditions designed to cultivate a stronger, more vibrant faith. Beyond personal renewal, millions run to and fro with a divine purpose, to share a message of hope. Is this global movement a key part of God's strategy in the last days? For centuries, missionaries have answered the Great Commission, crossing oceans and continents to spread the gospel. Today, the unprecedented ease of global travel empowers this mandate like never before. Humanitarian aid workers, driven by compassion, traverse the globe to alleviate suffering. Even Christian tourists, traveling with intentionality, become ambassadors of faith, building bridges and sharing testimonies. This movement isn't just human. It's divinely orchestrated, utilizing the very phenomenon Daniel prophesied to fulfill God's ultimate plan for humanity. When we truly engage with other cultures, walls fall, understanding grows. This, running to and fro, can be a powerful force for unity, fulfilling a deeper human longing for connection. But what is the ultimate connection we seek? When travelers move beyond superficial sightseeing and immerse themselves in local customs, share meals, and listen to stories, prejudices often dissolve. Cultural exchange programs, volunteer tourism, and genuine interactions break down stereotypes, fostering empathy and building bridges between diverse peoples. This aspect of global movement, though often overlooked, reflects a divine principle that through understanding and connection, humanity can move towards a more harmonious existence, foreshadowing a unity found only in God's eternal kingdom. Is our relentless running to and fro merely a prophetic sign, or is it a symptom of a deeper spiritual hunger, a restless yearning for a true home, a perfect destination only found in God? Every journey, every destination sought, every new horizon pursued, might be an echo of a profound, innate human longing. This restlessness, this insatiable desire to explore beyond the known, is often a subconscious search for meaning, for belonging, for a home we instinctively know we have lost. It whispers of an ultimate pilgrimage, a journey not across physical lands, but towards the Creator Himself, the only source of true and lasting rest. Could this relentless, running to and fro, be more than just a prophetic sign? Could it be a divine strategy, preparing the world for the ultimate message, the Great Commission in action? Indeed, the unprecedented interconnectedness of our world, driven by this very global movement, has opened doors for the gospel like never before. Missionaries, aid workers, and even ordinary travelers, now reach the farthest corners of the earth with greater ease and speed. Cultures mix, barriers fall, and the seeds of faith are sown in lands once inaccessible. God orchestrates not just the grand narratives, but the seemingly mundane daily movements, weaving them all into His overarching redemptive plan for humanity. The vast network of global tourism, with all its complexities, serves a purpose far grander than mere leisure. Daniel's words, sealed for centuries, now echo in our airports, our data centers, our very daily lives. There's no escaping the chilling accuracy. But what is the ultimate purpose of this prophetic unfolding? The prophet Daniel foresaw a specific time of the end, when many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. We have meticulously traced how both aspects of this prophecy have been fulfilled with terrifying precision in our modern era. This isn't coincidence. It is a divine signature, confirming that we are indeed living in the very age Daniel peered into. This realization carries a profound gravity, for it means the world is being prepared not just for more travel and more information, but for the culmination of God's eternal plan. Every journey, every destination, every running to and fro, ultimately echoes a deeper yearning for our Creator. We are restless until we rest in Him. But where is this true rest found? Humanity's innate restlessness, this insatiable desire to explore beyond the horizon, to chase new experiences, is not a random evolutionary quirk. It is a divine longing, woven into the very fabric of our souls, a yearning for the one from whom we came. Our physical journeys across continents are but shadows, faint reflections of a deeper spiritual pilgrimage, a relentless search for meaning, for purpose, for a home that transcends earthly borders. We travel the globe seeking temporary joy, but the Bible reveals our true, eternal destination. Every path we take, every distant land we visit, whispers of the ultimate journey home. Are you ready for it? The ultimate destination, the true fulfillment of all human longing, is not found in another country or another continent, but in a restored relationship with our Creator. Scripture promises a new heaven and a new earth, a place of perfect peace and unity, where every tear is wiped away. Our earthly running to and fro is a pilgrimage, a preparation for that glorious eternal home. In a world constantly running to and fro, chasing the next horizon, the next experience, perhaps the most profound journey we can undertake is not across oceans, but within. Amidst the ceaseless external movement, there lies an invitation to a different path, a journey inward. It is a call to pause, to reflect on the deeper motivations that drive our restless spirits. Is it merely escapism, or a profound yearning for something eternal? This is an invitation to seek inner peace, a spiritual grounding that transcends the fleeting joys of any earthly destination. It is a challenge to find stillness in motion and truth in reflection. Daniel foresaw a time when knowledge shall be increased, and we live undeniably in that age. The Internet, artificial intelligence, a deluge of data, information explodes around us with unprecedented speed. Yet, is this mere information always true knowledge? And more importantly, is it wisdom? The ancient scriptures, faithfully preserved, remind us that while facts accumulate, true wisdom remains scarce. It is found not in the endless scroll of data, but in discerning the divine, in understanding God's eternal truth amidst the noise. Where do you find your wisdom, your anchor in this sea of information? After all the running to and fro, all the knowledge gained, the deepest human longing remains: rest for our souls. The world offers temporary respites, fleeting moments of peace, but never a lasting sanctuary. The Bible, however, offers this ultimate destination. It extends a gentle, unwavering invitation to cease striving, to lay down the burden of endless pursuit, and find true rest in a relationship with God. This divine peace transcends every earthly journey, every distant land. It is the ultimate purpose behind every step, every yearning for home. Will you answer the call? Do you believe Daniel's prophecy of running to and fro and knowledge increasing is unfolding today, shaping our world in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Share your perspective on this astonishing biblical connection. We are living in times when prophecies unfold quietly, and what once seemed ancient is now more alive than ever. If you'd like us to keep exploring how current events connect with biblical prophecy, give this video a thumbs up and share it. This lets us know we should continue uncovering more prophecies unfolding right before our eyes. And if you're ready to dive even deeper, click right now on the video you see on your screen. In these times, understanding is more essential than ever. Blessings,